So you've created your model, you have this building, it's maybe a pretty complex building, and when you cut it in section, this view in some respects is bland. It doesn't really show a lot of depth, doesn't really show a lot of detail. So how do we show more detail? Well, we can do essentially a perspective section view. And so there's a couple things with this. The first thing we're going to start off by doing is we're going to go to click the wrong button there. We're going to go to a floor plan. So I'll just go to my level 1 here. And this is where our section is cut through. We're going to create a camera view. And so we want to start our camera view down further. And the goal is ultimately to get the whole camera in the shot. And so we just want to have this camera view kind of straight on like this. And it's going to create a view looking like this. So let's go back to our level 1. And just here's a little tip for you. So if you click the white space and you lose your camera, you want to go over here and you can click show camera and you can see that camera again. What I want to do is I want to make sure these intersection lines are back before our section. So it's pretty close right now. It is back, but maybe I'll just drag it back just a little bit more. The second thing we want to do is now we want to cut our view. And so this is what our 3D view looks like. This is what our section view looks like. And so in order to cut this view, we want to turn on our section box. So if we go over here to properties, we can turn on that section box. And now we can see that section box. We can click this and we can move these arrows. But again, it's maybe a little bit hard to do. It's kind of hard to see and hard to tell what you're cutting through. So if I go here to level 1, and if I had my section view turned on, we can actually control these lines. But if I click the white space and I turn that off, it's the same concept. We can right click on that camera view and we can go to show section box. And now what I'm going to do is just change this arrow and move this up to where our section line is. And it doesn't need to be really exact. You just want to get it close. And so now when we look at our camera view, we're seeing our building in 3D and we're actually understanding depth. Couple last things. This section box, you don't want to turn it off, but we can hide it if that is just annoying to see those lines all the time, so we can hide it. And then obviously if you want to bring it back, we go down to our little light bulb and we can unhide that section box or just change its parameters if we need to bring it back. And so the last thing is we have set the sheet up. If this sheet is whatever size, doesn't really matter a whole lot. If you are bringing this between other views, it might be good to use 11 by 17. But as you can see, when I drag this on, it's really small in terms of its scale. And so camera views don't have a physical scale. They have a bit of a, I don't want to say an artificial scale, but they have a bit of an artificial scale. And so I can click up here, size and crop. And this crop size references sheet space. So it's almost like if you think back to like layouts in AutoCAD, it's really just the actual dimensions of the sheet, not of the actual view. And so if this is an ArcD sheet, I want to go 24 inches wide or 36 inches wide. If this is 11 by 17, I'll maybe go, and typically what I do is I usually go, 1 or 2 inches less. So if it's a 11 by 17, I'll maybe go to like 15 or 16. If it's an ArcD, I'll maybe go to like 33 or 34 or 35 inches, just so it's almost filling up that sheet. So in this case, let's maybe click like 24 inches, and then we only need to adjust the width, and then we just want to change the bottom here to be scale, and now it's going to make that bigger. So that's how to change the size of those perspective views. Obviously, 3D views, floor plans, you can adjust those just with the scale button, but perspective views you have to do manually by resizing that. So now this view obviously is more appropriately scaled, so you could bring that into Photoshop or Illustrator or whatever you're doing with your workflow.